afternoon, Senators. I'm very glad to see you today. Thank you for hearing LB 428. As a representative of Nebraska Friends of Midwives, a consumer-based nonprofit organization, I will provide a preface to the collection of testimony that you are about to hear, as well as point to some of the indicators that it is time for Nebraska to legalize the option of certified nurse midwife attended home birth. You will hear today from a small handful of Nebraskans who have chosen or would like to have the opportunity to choose home birth. Their reasons for preferring home to hospital are diverse and include dignity, privacy, benefits of health and safety, financial value, personal autonomy, and much more. Since Nebraska statutes made CNM attendance of home birth illegal in 1983, our state has seen more than 2,646 home births. That's 2,646 home births. And a handful of these births were most likely planned for the hospital, but there's also a handful of hospitals that were planned for home. Some have found direct entry or certified professional midwives, which are unlicensed in Nebraska, to attend them, but others cannot and choose to birth at home unattended. The current law does not prevent home birth, it only preserves the attendance, it only prevents the attendance of a specific care provider. Also testifying today is a CNM who is currently a clinical director at a freestanding birth center in Texas, a state which recognizes that home birth is fully within the scope of CNM training and practice standards. In fact, Nebraska's maternity care consumers are unusually limited in their access to midwifery care. In 48 states, CNMs can provide maternity care and attend births in homes. Nebraska Friends of Midwives is not alone in desiring the passage of this bill. You can find attached a list of supporting organizations and businesses, including American College of Nurse Midwives, the Nebraska Nurses Association, the Nebraska Association of Family Practice, the Nebraska chapter of the National Association of Social Workers, and the YWCA of Lincoln. In my experience, when this topic of home birth arises, one of the first questions usually is, but is it safe? And it is a question that I do find difficult to answer, not because there aren't good studies, because there are good studies from high-quality sources demonstrating excellent outcomes of CNM-attended home birth. But giving birth is a very personal experience, and people of both sides usually have a vested interest in why they hold their opinion. After a couple years of involvement with Nebraska Friends and Midwives, though, I have come to realize that these polarizing debates of home versus hospital, safe versus unsafe, are not really the bottom line. We don't all have to agree about the best place to have a baby, only that those who give birth at home have the right to be attended by licensed care providers. And finally, Nebraska Friends and Midwives is aware of recent charges of a practicing medicine without license and manslaughter filed in Custer County, Nebraska, against a non-nurse midwife from South Dakota. Sadly, this is a case in which a baby died. Nebraska Friends of Midwives, however, has no special knowledge of the circumstances relating to this arrest and can make no comments about the specifics involved in this pending case. Nebraska Friends of Midwives has received confirmation from the North American Registry of Midwives that Ms. Jones does hold the credential Certified Professional Midwife, CPM, a category of non-nurse midwives who practice legally, whose practices are legally recognized in 27 states, and for which the nationally known organization, The Big Push, seeks licensure. Recognizing their valuable practice and the demand for CPM care in our state, NFOM pursued legislation to license CPMs in 2005, an effort which was unsuccessful. The legislation before you today addresses only certified nurse midwives, which have for almost 30 years been licensed in Nebraska.
Questions? Senator Cook? Thank you, Madam Chair. Explain to me how certified nurse midwives are permitted to practice now, under what conditions?
I am probably not the best person to ask that question of. We do have a certified nurse midwife on her way who is extremely familiar with all of the hows and ins and outs. Is there any other way that I could answer that question that would help you out?
And I don't want to guess. It's probably written down. Jeff might be able to.
They are licensed in Nebraska, and they are allowed to practice in hospital in Nebraska.
With a physician in the room?
With a physician
or with another?
underneath the practice agreement.
Okay.
So a physician would not be in the room.
But the physician would have a practice agreement with that hospital?
Yes.
But he or she needn't be in the room with the certified nurse midwife.
Correct.
To attend the birth.
the blank, something arises or there's a need. But I'm sure that the midwife
All right.
can answer that question more suitably.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Oh.